It was recently my birthday, so I have a whole haul here to show you guys what I picked up. So stay tuned to find out what I got. Hey YouTube, it's Mandak coming at you guys with another haul video. So welcome into haul video 173, guys. So I am filming this haul on October 31st, Halloween. So happy Halloween to whoever who I guess celebrates it or whoever went trick-or-treating. It's kind of funny this year because of where my wife and I are living. We can actually participate in handing out candy to trick-or-treaters. So really looking forward to that tonight. I think it's going to be really fun. And, you know, Halloween's always been one of my favorite holidays. So, yeah, I may or may not post a picture of my wife and I in our Halloween costumes. So you guys will have to see what those are here. Or maybe I won't, who knows. But anyways, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that holiday. But yeah, as I mentioned, my birthday was recent here. So my birthday is October 22nd. So just squeezed in there as a Libra. But yeah, so I turned 31 this year. So not really a notable birthday, but you know, I had a lot of fun celebrating my birthday with my wife, obviously, and then my friends, which I will kind of explain here what happened there. And yeah, just it was really fun. So obviously for my birthday, my wife and I went out to dinner. You know, just had you know, obviously I worked. My birthday was in the middle of the week, so I worked my birthday, and then we just kind of went to dinner and went out and got dessert. There's a Lancaster cupcake that's nearby us that we stop at. So that was really fun to do that. Did a little shopping, which obviously I'll show here. And then, yeah, Saturday comes by. We decided to go out to breakfast and then to Park City Mall in Lancaster. Because I had some gift cards from Apple and I actually went ahead and bought an Apple Pencil. So I won't show it here on the haul, but I did buy it because I have been into, I've always been into doing art, you know, back when I was, I think the summer between my junior and senior year of college, I drew a lot of drawings, mostly centered around comics. So I'm looking to get back into that with the Apple Pencil. Obviously, I have an iPad. I recently bought a new one here at the beginning of this year. If you hear some noises or crying in the background, that's my cat trying to get into my room. So just an FYI there. But anyways, went there, did a little bit of shopping around, and then my wife was like, "Can we go home?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So we start going home, and like I noticed that we were going like a weird way. So turns out she actually threw a surprise party for me, and all my friends from college and some of my other high school friends showed up too, and also some of my friends from my other friends. So yeah, we rented out. She rented out a room in a movie theater for us to actually play video games and just have fun and, you know, have food. She got Chick-fil-A catered, so yeah, it was a very special day, and I just wanted to thank her for doing that. And she definitely surprised me with everyone who came down. My in-laws came, Adam and Alicia, and their kids. So yeah, really fun day, fun weekend, honestly. Because after that, some of my friends came back to our townhome, and we played some more board games and just kind of chilled and enjoyed ourselves. So I think there's a picture that I'll probably show here on the screen. It's been on social media, so I don't think it should surprise anyone. Um, but yeah, just had a really fun day, you know, really special day, and none of it would have been possible without my wife. So really happy about that. And yeah, you know, definitely wasn't expecting it because, 31st birthday, no one really expects stuff like that. But nonetheless, it was really fun and definitely a birthday I won't forget. So, but yeah, with that being said, though, you know, I just want to also thank all of my friends who came to the party, and then those who couldn't come. I appreciate you as well too. Just um, everything was just really really fun. We got to play Smash Brothers, Super Smash Brothers. We played Quiplash for most of the time, so that was really fun. Um, but one thing I wasn't expecting was gifts. I really, I didn't expect anyone to really get me any gifts, and obviously this haul will mostly, if not all, be dedicated towards the gifts that people got me for my birthday. So again, just wanted to thank everyone who stopped by, gift or no gift. Right, I appreciated you guys being there, and again, you guys made that day very special for me and for my wife and extended family. So really appreciate you guys, and obviously I'll go through this haul here to show what I picked up. So obviously I have my regular sections of comics and Lego, but this section here I'll dedicate towards stuff that isn't necessarily one or the other. So first off, I do want to show some things that my wife got for me for the party itself. The party was obviously video game themed, so I thought that was really fun. I got multiple cards that were like Mario based, and sure enough, my wife actually got me a Mario hat. So this thing barely fits my head, but nonetheless, it's really fun. I think I actually might wear this with my costume tonight. I'm not going as Mario tonight, but thought it'd be really fun just to have this as my hat for the trick-or-treaters. But yeah, as for anyone here who knows, I'm a Nintendo dork. I solely, strictly, exclusively game with Nintendo consoles. So this will be really fun to keep. Maybe put downstairs with the rest of our gaming setup that we have. But yeah, I just wanted to show that. I think that's really funny. Also sticking with gaming, you guys might have saw in the thumbnail, wanted to show a gift that I got from one of my friends, Tina. And I'll have to get with her because I'll have to get a link to her store. I think she has a store or page, social media page, where she does crocheting. This is amazing, Tina. So thank you so much. There's a little bit of backstory with this. Back in May, during the Thy Geekdom Con, which I did a haul for, if you want to go check that out, I mentioned this because I saw like crochet master balls, like Pokeballs, being sold at the con, and I was talking about it. And my wife's like, "Well, why don't you just ask Tina, like, see if you can pay her to make one for you?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, it probably." Probably would be a nicer quality because it's coming from my friend, and obviously she really likes to crochet. So, I mean, I just wanted to give her a shout out because this came out perfect. The details are just amazing. Like even the little bumps on the top, because the Master Ball, it's not completely spherical. It has like those little bumps on the top that protrude out, and then the M detail. Just really cool. And honestly, this is probably the size of a Pokeball once like they hit the button and they expand it. So I think that's really cool. And definitely something I'm going to keep in my gaming collection. Yeah, just really wanted to thank Tina for making this for me. It's very, very nice and really, really nice gift. So thank you so much again. All right. So sticking with the gaming theme again here, some other friends of mine, Kim and Mandy, they actually bought me some, they got me a Nintendo eShop gift card for $20. So really thankful for that. I'm always buying new games, and that will definitely go towards a game at some point. I got to figure out kind of what I'm having on my list to pick up. And I might wait for a sale too, because I know usually at the end of the year, Nintendo will run like a bunch of like online sales on their eShop. So definitely we'll wait to see if I can grab something for a discount with that. So again, thanks for that. But they also found these coasters, which I thought were really cool. They're like ceramic and they're printed with two different games. So this is Super Mario Brothers Deluxe for the Game Boy and Color, and then the Nintendo DS Super Mario Brothers, New Super Mario Brothers. So these are really cool. Definitely we'll put these down the basement with our gaming setup. And just really, really nice gifts, guys. Really cool to get these coasters. It's funny because a couple months ago at this point, my wife and I actually found some like cheaper quality coasters, like of gaming cartridges that we bought for downstairs. But these ones just are much better. And these ones, I actually might consider keeping one of these upstairs in my office because I kind of like how they look. So yeah, really cool and very thoughtful gift. And then lastly here, kind of sticking with the gaming theme before I switch into my comic stuff, is this was a very generous gift. I was not expecting to get this. And I guess I should have also mentioned some funny backstory here. Like, I guess a couple months ago, my wife asked me to send a Amazon wish list of stuff that I wanted for either my birthday or Christmas. Because she's aware that I buy a lot of books and Lego, and she obviously doesn't want to buy me something that I don't already own or intend to buy. And vice versa, right? Like, I've asked her to send me a wish list because that's kind of how we've done it over the past couple of years, is we've created Amazon wish lists for each other, and it kind of gives us inspiration. We don't necessarily have to buy everything on the wish list or buy exactly what's on the wish list, but it gives us both like inspiration of what we could get for each other. So I did not intend for her to give this to my friends, and apparently she did, because a lot of the stuff that I got was from that list, and one of them was the Pokemon Legends Arceus game. So I may have talked about it on this channel, but if I didn't, this actually came from my friends Justin and Allison. So again, just want to thank them for getting this for me. It's funny because earlier this year at their wedding, Justin also got me the Pokemon Violet game. So I'm currently playing through that. Obviously, this is going to have to wait on the back burner until I finish that other game. But nonetheless, really thoughtful gift, really generous gift. Again, I don't want this to sound ungrateful, but you guys didn't really have to get me gifts, but I really appreciate it nonetheless. So yeah, so this is great. It's funny because once I saw I got that, I actually asked them about Pokemon ZA, which they actually already have and they're playing. So I think that's probably the last Pokemon game we're gonna get for the Switch, the original Switch. So they said they like it, so hopefully at some point I'll be able to grab that too. Maybe I'll wait until I get a Switch 2 and just upgrade to that, but we'll see. Not put myself too far ahead there. But yeah, so that is kind of the non-comic or comic book or like Lego related stuff, toy related stuff. So yeah, we'll go ahead, 12-minute introduction aside, we'll go ahead and get into the comic section as we normally do. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, so thank you so much for tuning back into this section here for the comics. So as I always do, I want to always start by going over what I've been reading recently. So I know last video was kind of a lot of a catch-up video from like a couple of months of reading. So this one should hopefully be a lot shorter. And yeah, I do have some really exciting updates to share on what I've been reading. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so first thing I can say is that I have finished volume 1 of Fantastic Four. So 400 plus issues later, I can say that I've finished and read. I think there's only one small gap that I haven't read, and that's like some issues that got cut out of John Byrne's run, because like the John Byrne Omnibus don't have a couple issues, but I don't really intend to go back and read those. So if you want to throw those out, I've read pretty much every other issue in Fantastic Four Volume 1. So starting with kind of what I read to finish that off, I read the Atlantis Rising Epic Collection. So this is the second to last epic for the Volume 1 material. And to no one's surprise, this is mostly built around this event or this storyline called Atlantis Rising, which ties in Fantastic Four. There's like an Atlantis Rising, like two-parter, like mini-series, if you will, and then the Fantastic Four issues, and then Fantastic Force. So Fantastic Force is a group of heroes that's founded by Franklin Richards, the older, like, teenager version of him that Nathaniel Richards brings back from the future. Um, so yeah, this epic was a little bit of a mix. We do get a lot of, obviously with it being Atlantis Rising, we get a lot of um moments with the Submariner showing up, and um, we can obviously see, because at this point Reed is still dead or still missing or gone, whatever. Um, so at this point, like, Sue is still by herself, and we kind of see Submariner starting to plant the seeds, metaphorically, if you will, for possibly a relationship between the two of them. And meanwhile, we also get like this weird thing where like Scott Lang kind of like tries to have a thing for Sue at some point, but like he never really like expresses it to her. Um, and meanwhile, I don't know if it's this epic or the one after, but Kristoff actually starts to have a relationship with Cassie Lang, Scott Lang's daughter, which I think is a little weird. And also, I don't understand why Kristoff like is like the same height as like the other heroes, but then like he's like a 12-year-old kid when he's not in the armor. It doesn't. I don't think they ever really explained that well, like how he's able to have like a full body of like an adult. But anyways, yeah, this was just all right. This I think Tom DeFalco and Paul Ryan like take the Fantastic Four through to the very end. Um, so I think they did as best of a job they could with kind of coasting this, but there's just so much stuff, like even the Atlantis Rising stuff, like there's just so much stuff going on. We have like Inhumans, and then we have this police force of Inhumans, we have the royal family, and then we have Celestials thrown in there. So it's just like a lot of stuff going on and just a lot of noise, and I don't know. I just felt like it was very over the top in my opinion. So there's that epic. And then the last one here was Strange Days Epic Collection. So this one I didn't have physical copy of, so I just downloaded the issues and read it on Marvel Unlimited. So obviously the biggest highlights I think with this one are that um, Reed Richards is alive. So they go through this like portal to basically go back and get him, and it turns out that him and Doctor Doom were both captured by a person known as Hyperstorm, which we turn to find out is actually Reed and Sue Richards' grandson. So he's basically the son of Franklin and I think Rachel. Um, what's her name? Rachel Summers, the Phoenix. So the two of them in a timeline have a kid, and it's Hyperstorm, and I think his name is actually Jonathan R. Richards. I think that's actually his real name. So obviously he's named after Jonathan, Johnny Storm, and then I think his middle name is Reed. I don't think they actually say what it is, but there's a moment where he's like, and I think you know what the R stands for or something. And I'm like, that's weird. But anyways, that's mostly this epic collection is like them saving Reed and I guess subsequently Doom, and then defeating Hyperstorm. So yeah, that's kind of that plot, and then the epic ends with Onslaught, which obviously for anyone who's not familiar, Onslaught basically is the event that caps off Volume 1 of like all of the major books pretty much. And then we actually see at the end of the Onslaught one shot, we actually see like advertisements for the 4 new books coming out, which would be which would be Heroes Reborn, which is Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Avengers, and Captain America. I think those are the 4 that they showed on there, which all of them, I think for the most part, really sucked. Obviously all of them lasted about a year, and then Marvel quickly pivoted to Heroes Return, where we got, runs like Kurt Busiek's and Sean Chen's Iron Man run, George Perez and Kurt Busiek's Avengers run. And then, yeah, so just a bunch of stuff, right? But yeah, so I read that. I don't know. It just felt very like the Onslaught stuff felt very rushed, like because it felt like they wrapped up the Strange Days storyline and then they just jumped right into like Onslaught, like the last two issues, and then Onslaught happened and they all died or disappeared or whatever you want to call it, right? So, but yeah, so in terms of my next steps, I'm not reading Fantastic Four Heroes Reborn. I'm actually jumping to Wade and Waringo's run. So I'm currently reading that, reading the first trade of that. Really liking it so far. I think it's the art's amazing. The storyline's perfect. I really like Mark Waid writing, so I think I'm going to really enjoy this. So that's my plan for that. And then Hickman, and then I think Fantastic Four Full Circle is like a little like one shot by Alex Ross that I'll read, and then I'll be done. So definitely anticipate to be done before the end of the year. I think I'm on a good track. I don't think it's going to take me 2 months to read all that stuff, but we'll see. So another book I can finally tell you that I've finished, and it took me so long, was the Human Torch and Thing Strange Tales Complete Collection. Man, was this a slog to get through. It was 1960s stuff. It was, so, obviously Strange Tales started with, I think, Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. and then Doctor Strange. And I think S.H.I.E.L.D. split off and got its own book. So then Human Torch and the Thing kind of slid in as the secondary story in Strange Tales along with Doctor Strange. I will say, like, the first half of the book is a lot. I say the first, like, 3/4 of the book is predominantly Human Torch stories, like, of him by himself. You get the occasional Fantastic Four sprinkling in there, right? They come in for the assist at times. But then the last, like, quarter of the book is Human Torch and the Thing teaming up together, which I would say is probably the strongest part of the book, in my opinion, because I love the banter between the two of them and just the way that they fight together. But yeah, of course, it had to be like the last, like, I don't know, 8 or so issues of the book before it ends. But yeah, just a complete slog to get through. It took me, like, I would say probably close to like 2 months to read it. And obviously I was just trying to read, like, I was trying to read one issue a day, but it was just so hard to get through because, like, 12, 13 pages of Silver Age art and writing takes me probably about 20 minutes to read because it's just so dense with dialogue. And yeah, I it's a nice paperback. I'm probably gonna end up selling it. So if any of my friends are watching this, or anyone out there who's interested in buying it from me, or I'll just honestly give it to you. I don't really care. But yeah, that's something I don't really care to read again. I'm glad I did, just so I can understand some more background on the characters. But yeah, just really, really a slog to get through. So, and the more I think about it, that might be the oldest material in my collection now that I've read. I don't think there's anything older than that now that I haven't already read in my collection. So that's great. It kind of reminds me of my read-through of X-Men Silver Age stuff, like the original X-Men stuff from the Silver Age, with like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. That took forever to get through 3 epics of those. So yeah, but there's that. And then I read some stuff because obviously it's spooky season. So I read the Ghosted Compendium by Josh Williamson. This was really fun. So basically it's a story about this guy, Jackson Winters. He gets busted out of prison and he's basically put on hire to capture ghosts. So we see him kind of starting off in this house working for this millionaire guy. And then he goes to, I think, the jungles of like the Amazon, like South America somewhere. And then we get this like kind of wrap up story. So there's like basically like there's basically like 3 story arcs in this, or maybe 4, in this compendium. There's 20 issues of it. So I thought it read pretty well. Really enjoyed the premise. I thought it was a really fun book. I won't give away too much more of the storyline, but I thought it was really good. Kind of asked some questions about like life and death, and you know how people kind of see their self-worth, you know, in different times. So I thought it was a good read. If you can find that compendium for cheap, I would definitely pick that up. I think it's a pretty good pretty good read there. And then I showed this on my last haul, but I did end up reading Stuff of Nightmares by R.L. Stine. And then I think the artist's last name is Kaplan. So this was great. The purpose of this one was basically this, I guess, brother working with like his or like these brothers working together, and then like to basically create a Frankenstein, and stuff goes wrong, and there's a lot of like other family members involved. And what's kind of cool is that we get like this like narrator talking throughout the issues, which kind of reminded me a little bit of like Twilight Zone, right? Like where you have like Rod Serling talking like before every episode, like this is the Twilight Zone. So it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. But yeah, the art was phenomenal. I thought it was really great. The coloring, just very spooky vibes. Definitely a great pickup if you can find it. I found it on Ollie's for $4. So if you're looking for something to read during the Halloween season, I thought it was a really fun, quick 4-issue read there. So yeah, that is my 8 minutes later. That's my what I've been reading. I told you guys this one would be a little bit shorter just because I don't have as much stuff going on, and also I was catching up a lot from the last haul. So yeah, that is what I've been reading this month. So I'll cut it right here, and then we'll come back and we'll go through the rest of the haul here. All right, guys. So thank you so much for this coming into this section of the haul. So again, this is all of my comics that I bought after I've done my what I've been reading. So yeah, the first book here I have is actually not a comic book, but a book that I got from my friend, Ed, who was also at my birthday surprise party. I did not expect him to get this for me, and yeah, this was something I had on my list, like my like own kind of like internal wish list in my head, but just didn't think I was gonna get just because it was really expensive. But he ended up buying this for me, and that is the deluxe edition of the Revenge of the Sith novel here, written by Matthew Stover. So, story time with this, right? Back when Revenge of the Sith first came out, I remember having the novel of this, and I don't know, maybe it was the kid adaptation or whatever, but I remember having a novel adaptation of Revenge of the Sith that I was reading before I saw the movie that had like artwork like in the middle. This was like back when they had the books that had like the middle of it had like still shots from the movie and with like little captions. So I feel like I kind of spoiled the movie for myself a little bit by reading that before I went and saw the movie. But nonetheless, you know, with Revenge of the Sith coming out, re-releasing in theaters this year, there's been a lot of push for like re-releasing material around that book or around that movie. And I saw that this book came out earlier this month, and I wanted to get it, but I was like, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of expensive. I'm not even sure how much this was actually, but anyways, this was the deluxe version, because if you see here on the spine, it actually says, this is how it feels to be Anakin Skywalker forever, which is a line from the book, but just an immaculate book here. Has a little fabric bookmark that I can use to keep track of. And it actually has annotations by the author, you know, kind of explaining why he wrote included certain things in this book. I've heard a lot of good things about this novel. Like a lot of people say that this is kind of the definitive way, aside from the movie, obviously, to enjoy this moment in Star Wars history. So I'm really, really looking forward to reading this again. And it's funny because before I even bought this or even got this as a gift, I actually was looking online, and there's actually 2 books that kind of surround this, and a lot of people recommend to read it as a trilogy. And the first one is Labyrinth of Evil, which comes before this. and kind of explains all the lead up to Revenge of the Sith. A lot of stuff, I think, involving General Grievous. And then we have the Dark Lord. I think that's what it's called. It's a book that comes after this, so it basically explains all the events directly after Revenge of the Sith. So I put those on my wish list. But regardless, I think I might buy them on my Kindle and read those two. Depending on, obviously what I get for Christmas. But nonetheless, this is a really cool book. And I just really want to thank Ed for getting this for me. This is definitely going to be something I'm going to read at some point here. But I do want to read that whole trilogy so I can really appreciate kind of where this book fits in the mythos of the Star Wars novels. So I know I don't read a lot of regular novels here, but that is one that I'm really looking forward to reading. So yeah, really pumped to get to that at some point. All right, the next two books here I got are part of a series that I was looking to hopefully finish. And sure enough, my wife actually got them for me for my birthday because obviously her and I kind of share a mutual appreciation of this character, I would guess. And that is the last two volumes I needed of Mark Waid's Archie run. So I have volumes 5 and 6 here. 5 collects issues 23 through 27, and then volume 6 collects issues 26 through 32. So this is the entirety. So I'm definitely going to push these up on the reading list here. I might read these actually sometime this weekend along with my Fantastic Four stuff, just to kind of put a nice bow and finish reading my Archie stuff. These are fun. Like I said, the fourth volume kind of ends with a very serious event that happens. So I'm really curious to see how this stuff gets resolved in these issues. But yeah, nonetheless, really excited to get these. These look like basically brand new copies. My wife said she bought them for me from Amazon. So yeah, these look brand new. These aren't secondhand, which I know she would never buy me secondhand books, but like low key, I don't really care. Like as long as the book's readable, like it's not like pages aren't ripped out or stuff's like there's no marker on anything. Like I'll read anything, honestly. But yeah, really nice to have those, and yeah, just wanted to thank her for that. All right. These last 3 books here that I got were all from a trip we took to Ollie's. So that Saturday morning I told you about when we were going shopping, I actually proposed to go to Ollie's, which turns out was wasting more time that we could. I guess not wasting, but yeah, it was kind of like not in the plans that she had to like move me to the movie theater and stuff like that. So sorry if I threw a wrinkle in that, but yeah, went to my local Ollie's here over in Lancaster, near the Park City Mall. Actually, it's funny. My friends and I always joke about it. It's the castle because it actually looks like a castle on the outside. So picked up some books there. I got Superman Unchained. This is a mini series. I think it's 9 issues, I want to say, of Superman material. Scott Snyder, Jim Lee, Dustin Nguyen. So, I liked his stuff on, I think, Ascender and Descender. I think he was the artist for those. But yeah, don't really know too much about this. It's funny, just in time for me to finish reading all my Superman collection, and then I add a book onto the pile. But yeah, I'll save this for 2 years from now when Superman Man of Tomorrow comes out. I think that's the new title for the movie, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll probably give this a read once we get closer to that in a couple years. So kind of funny that I'm already planning out my read-throughs 2 years from now. The next 2 books here I got were both like miniseries of Batman that I didn't really know too much about, but I'm like, you know what? For a really cheap price, why not go in and buy them? The first one here is by Tom Taylor with art by Andy Kubert, and that is Batman the Detective. So this is a 6-issue miniseries. Yeah, it looks like he's going to the United Kingdom to investigate some stuff. I don't know how old this is. I don't know if this just came out or if this is a reprint of something or whatever, but nonetheless, don't really know too much about this. I probably should have consulted my friend Mike before I made these purchases, since he's kind of the resident Batman expert. But yeah, I think whenever Batman Part 2 comes out, I'm definitely going to do a huge Batman read-through. I still have, like, Grant Morrison's run, you know, Scott Snyder, Tom King. I've not touched any of that stuff yet, so that is definitely going to be a massive read-through at some point here, which I'm not sure when the next movie's coming out. I would assume it's probably a couple years from now, but could be wrong. So yeah, it's wrapped in plastic, so obviously I'm not gonna open it now to show you, but you can kind of see there what that looks like. So I got this from Ollie's for $7. Cover price on this is $25, so nice to get it for like 65% off. And then the last one I got here was a piece of material that's apparently collected in the Tom King, I don't know if they've come out yet or not, but the Tom King Batman Compendiums, which at this point, I don't think I'm going to upgrade to those, just because I have most, if not all, the material collected in trades. But this one was Batman Killing Time. So this is another miniseries, same title. This is by Tom King, with art by David Marquez, and I'm guessing the colorist is Alejandro Sanchez. But yeah, really cool to get this. It's Tom King, so I definitely have some optimism that this will be good. But, you know, sometimes that's not always the case. But again, picked this up. This was one that was a little bit more expensive. It was $8. Cover price on this, though, was $30 for 6 issues, I think is really pushing it. At that point, you might as well just buy the single issues if you can find them for, like, you know, in back issue bins maybe. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. So, but yeah, to get this for $8, I think that's, again, kind of pushing it a little bit for 6 issues, but I still think it's a decent deal. Because it's funny, I went to this Ollie's maybe, back in June, I want to say, and I didn't find anything there. Yeah, that was a weekend where I think my wife was away. She was visiting friends. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that, you know, I went back 4 months later and found some stuff. Obviously not too much, but yeah, that's the thing. Ollie's, it's either hit or miss. It's very hit or miss. There's no kind of in the middle there. So, but yeah, it's probably one of the shortest hauls for comics I'll ever have. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the Lego section here. A lot of stuff to show for that, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so thank you so much for tuning into the Lego section. So the first thing I'm going to show here is technically not a Lego, but I have normally, I think, always put these figures in this part of the haul, so you can kind of guess what it is. But yeah, I guess my friend Ginger Dan, we used to call him Ginger Dan in college because he had ginger hair, but my friend Dan, he must have knew that I started a Black Series collection. I don't know if he watches these haul videos all the time. Maybe not, but yeah, he was at Baltimore Comic Con. I didn't get a chance to go this year. Something came up where I just wasn't able to go. But when he was down there, he actually picked up a figure for me for my birthday, and that is part of the Mos Eisley Cantina band, the Modal Nodes, which, if you know, you know. That wasn't their original name, so you can go look up what their original name was. But anyway, he bought me one of the players, figuring Dan, just because I'm Dan and he's Dan, so I thought that was really funny. I think this is, I don't know if this is the character, but a while ago, a couple years ago, I listened to the audiobooks of Star Wars from a certain point of view, and in the New Hope book, there's actually a short story from the point of view of the players in the modal nodes, like how they perform at the cantina and just their perspective on the whole thing with Greedo and Han, right? So I wonder if this was the character that was the main character in that story. I would have to go back and look. But nonetheless, nice to get a Black Series figure. This is my third now, the second one from A New Hope. Obviously, I've shown in the past I've gotten Darth Vader and The Mandalorian, both on sale at Target and Walmart, respectively. So this will go on the shelf next to those. And I guess I can say now that I have a Black Series collection. So yeah, a really thoughtful gift there, and a really funny gift. When I bought this, or when I pulled this out of the bag to show off to everybody, I accidentally mispronounced the first name, and everyone made fun of me there. So that was funny, but a really thoughtful gift though. Really liked that. So my friends Tina and Nelson, they actually also bought me some other stuff. I don't have them here to show, but they did buy me a book light, which will come in handy when I'm traveling or if I'm reading on the couch and the lights are off. And then also some bookmarks. So again, that will come in handy for my reading. But they also bought me a Lego set, again, a smaller one here, but one that I really wanted to get, and that is the mech of Spider-Man. This one I really wanted to get because this year in 2025, Lego decided to add an extra minifigure to the mechs. So this one actually has Anti-Venom, which I don't think I've ever owned before. I have a bunch of Spider-Man mechs and figures, but wanted to get that Anti-Venom minifigure. I know technically he's in another set, like he's in one of those like building sets that just came out too for Spider-Man. But I'm waiting for a sale for those because I do want to buy those and like kind of build like a little like scene with all the Spider-Man buildings, but not right now. Just want to wait for them to go on a sale. But yeah, really cool to get this mech, and really appreciate Tina Nelson for getting that for me. This set I bought here, I actually went to Target on my birthday with my wife. You know, I used my red card for the first time probably about 3 or 4 months at this point. So I picked up this one. This one was on sale, and obviously this is with my favorite character, and that is the Lego 76320 Iron Man and War Machine versus the Hammer Drones. So really cool to get this. This is, again, the beauty of this subline for Marvel, Lego Marvel, is going back and revisiting some older movies, moments, such as this one from Iron Man 2. The drones are really cool. Can't wait to build those. Love to see the Iron Man armor. I'm not sure which mark that is, but and then a War Machine, a new War Machine armor. That one might actually be the same one from the mech, but that was released last year. But nonetheless, really cool little set here. I got this for $18. You know, I think it's kind of crazy how expensive these are getting now. I definitely think this is like a $15 set in my opinion, but I'm sure it'll probably go on more sale, and I'll probably pick up some once it goes on a deeper sale there, but more to come there. All right, another set I bought here at Target was one that I kind of intend to put downstairs in our living room because we have a record player. I've had that record player for 7 years now. I bought it at Best Buy back in 2018. So, but yeah, anyways, we like listening to records from time to time whenever our cat's not jumping on the record player and causing it to skip. So I think I mentioned this before, but Lego has been absolutely killing it with the 3-in-1 sets recently. Like, some of them are just really cool. Like I said before, they just really appeal to larger groups of people, which I think is, and they're a very affordable price too, right? They're not like a Lego Ideas set, which can get pretty pricey. So this one I picked up was the record player with flowers. So this was like originally $30. It was on sale at Target, and I got an additional sale with my Target Red card. But yeah, this is just really cool. I know there was like a record player like gift with purchase set that came out, I think last year or something. But to get one for only like $22, I think is much better. This is just a really cool set. Comes with flowers. The whole stylus system and record player I think is really cool. And then also just some of the other alternate builds I think are cool. You have a radio or a microphone. I think those are pretty neat too. So yeah, yeah, really nice little set here. Can't wait to build this, and probably gonna see if I can maybe display this somewhere near our record player. Since, like I said before, we have records, and I think this would be a really cool piece to put next to it. So yeah, and I wonder if there's there's a function on the back here where you can actually rotate the record and actually see it move. So I think that's kind of cool that they included that. It comes with extra records. I will say those records look a little thick for what they should be, but nonetheless, really cool little set there. All right. These next two sets I got at through Walmart.com through a third-party retailer on there. So, you know, as I normally will do from time to time, I scroll through Walmart and I found these for like both like a crazy amount of money off. I think both of them were like almost 25% off, which both of these are what I'll show you are basically brand new sets. They both came out this year, so seeing stuff for like plus 20% off I think was a pretty good deal, so that's why I jumped on them. So the first one here is the Japanese maple tree. So if you're an Eagles fan, you gotta get the joke. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, this set was originally 60, I want to say, and I got this for 40. So it was $20 off, and I'm like, that's a really good deal. Well, it turns out the reason why is because this box, you can't really see it too much on the screen here, but it's pretty beat up. And the next box I'll show you was even worse. So I think that's probably why they were sold at a cheaper price, which for someone like me who just throws away the box, doesn't really see the value in keeping the box, I could really care less as long as I can get the Lego for cheaper. That's all I care about. But yeah, this will be a nice set to build and put next to all of my other botanical sets, which I currently actually took off a shelf because I'm actually working on a project to display them separately from the rest of my sets because I have so many of them, and I want to create this like shelf unit where it has like the botanical sets and all like the animal sets that I have kind of sprinkled in together. I think that will look really nice. So more to come on that, but yeah, this is really cool to get for a decent price here. Like I said, $40 for this is a steal in my opinion. So, and it's funny, I checked recently to see if these sets are still being sold at that price, and they aren't. So I think that retailer may have just sold them to get rid of the stock because of the damage on the boxes. So yeah, one of those things where just being in the right place at the right time. So yeah, the next set I bought here for a discounted price as well. I got this one for like, I think I got this for 40, and this was originally selling for 60 or 70, so I got this for like $30 off. And that is Luxo Jr. It's basically the lamppost, or the lamp from the Pixar movies. So I paid $40 for this, which I think is a really good deal in my opinion. $70 for this is really pushing it in my opinion. So yeah, I've seen a lot of videos online of like all the Easter eggs that they put into the ball, like all the different sides having like Easter eggs, different Pixar movies. So yeah, and you can just see on the bottom kind of like the walking across, bouncing on the ball. So really excited. I believe this piece is a glow-in-the-dark piece, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of a nice feature there. And then obviously you can display it standing on the ball. So I think that's kind of cool too. But yeah, really cool to get this one. Definitely will put this with the rest of my Disney sets that I have downstairs, which I don't really have too many. Like, I don't really go for a lot of Disney sets. So, you know, not really too much in the collection at this point. All right, so there's those. Try not to knock the camera while I do some of this stuff. The next one here I got was from my wife. So it's funny when you know, Lego boxes all look very similar. So like when she gave this to me, she was like, "Oh, I think you know what it is," and I actually didn't know. I thought it was actually another set, but it turns out it was this set, and I'm really happy it is because this is an amazing set. This is the Star Wars logo set. So yeah, really nice piece to build and put with the rest of my Star Wars sets in my collection down in the basement. yeah, just a really fun gift. I do apologize, I kind of ripped off part of the box a little bit there on the end. I was telling her too, it's just crazy how in today's 2025 we can get a set like this where like the logo is almost one for one the exact same as what is designed. It looks, and even at this as small of a size as they can get it to, it looks just amazing. The greebling looks awesome. I just can't wait to build this. And it's funny, I told my wife about this little like Easter egg that's in here. So you can see on the top of the set where the T is, there's actually a little Easter egg where they do a little miniature recreation of the first scene from A New Hope where the Star Destroyer is chasing the Tantive 4. So yeah, really cool to get that feature there. But yeah, really excited to build this, and I'm really happy that I can put this with the rest of my Star Wars sets. So thank you for that, Monica. All right, and then the last set I got here, again, was a big set. Definitely did not expect this. This set came from my brother and sister-in-law, Adam and Alicia. So again, just wanted to thank them. They didn't have to do this, and I just really appreciate their generosity and just getting me this gift, because they're cat owners. They know how much we love our cat too. So they picked me up the Tuxedo Cat, and this set I'm so looking forward to building. You know, I've seen so many videos from last year about this set. Yeah, I heard nothing but great things about this set and how great it is. And I'm really looking forward to, once I build this, to see what Luna's reaction would be to it, and see if she tries to knock it down or beat it up, because she might think it's a cat. Like this thing is like, I think this will be around the size of her. Like, I don't think this is going to be too far off in terms of size. But what's really cool is that like there's so many features on this, right? You can move the tail, the head. It just looks so accurate. And the eyes, you can actually change them out. So you can have like 2 different colored eyes, or blue or yellow eyes. I think I'll do yellow just because Luna's eyes are yellow. And I was talking to my friends, I wonder how much money it would cost me to get the replacement parts to turn this completely into a black cat. Which I don't know if I will do it, because it probably will be kind of expensive. And I think it looks nicer having the Tuxedo Cat, because it adds a little bit of color to an otherwise pretty dark build if I just do the black cat. But yeah, really excited to build this. Again, just want to thank Adam and Alicia for getting this for me. And you can even see here, there's some of Luna's fur on the edge of the box, because I kept this in my room here for a little bit, and she likes to rub her face up against the side of the box. So there's that. But yeah, that was my Lego haul. So a lot of nice stuff to build. Probably gonna end up taking this stuff down to the basement here shortly to build, or not. I'm not gonna build it all right now, but put it on my shelves to build at some point. But yeah, that is my haul here for the Lego. So let's go ahead and get into the outro for this video. All right, guys. So again, thank you so much for tuning into this haul. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, just wanted to thank all of my friends and, you know, everyone else for coming out and enjoying the surprise party with me. Like I said, you know, my wife did an amazing job. We really had a lot of fun. Yeah, just really great to have a group of friends who, you know, we all just stay in touch and just get to enjoy these moments together. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And again, just wanted to thank all of my friends who gave these gifts to me. It wasn't expected, but obviously very much appreciated. So thank you for that. And until next time, I will see you guys on the flip side.